What's going on, guys? We are back with Redbeard. I'm not on the game. There it is. With Redbeard here for a low platinum replay analysis. Of course, you can get your replays analyzed by going to patreon.com/Gibbs00. And I see it every time. Every single time in the YouTube comments. Like, how can I get my replay analyzed? And as you can tell, I never answer them because it's the first thing I say in all of these videos. Go there. Go check it out. It's 20 bucks. You don't have to repeat it every month. The whole point is to go on it for 1 month and then back off so other people can get it. But go over there for that, coaching, free play. We do some videos over there too. I got something brewing coming up, probably in about 2 months' time, which could be a lot of fun for the $5 Patreon people, as well as my Twitch subs. So just keep a lookout for that. Hopefully it happens. But yeah, so this is Redbeard. He's playing with his team here. He's got Blackbeard and Snapper, as you can see there. So we got the whole crew coming in, going for a low platinum game. Let's start this over, and let's get the show on the road here. So this face-off starts. This face-off's fine. We have one cheat, one stay in net, one go. That's ideal in threes. The one that stays in net could also go for boost, honestly. It's not the end of the world, unless something really bad happens, but I like to personally, like, I'd rather sit in net, because I don't think you need the extra like 54 boost or whatever it is, so I don't think it's really needed. This hit right here by Snapper is not great. Let's just go back on the cheat too. Surprised he misses that. One thing I would do is when you're cheating and someone else is also coming to attack a ball, and you know they're cheating as well, now you're probably going to get greedy and try and chip it over their head. That's actually a really bad idea. Sorry about the phone. Because normally they're close enough, and if they flip, they will dunk it right over you. So the safest play is to just flip into the ball and follow behind it. Don't try and flip and do like a side flip to get out of the way. You kind of want to follow behind it. So if they do flip, then you still have a chance to win that challenge. And if they don't flip, it'll probably go right over their head. Just something to keep in mind on the cheats on faceoffs. I do it all the time where I get greedy and try and chip it over them. But it's not generally a great idea. It's a low risk, though, like when you do for the chip, unless the dunk is so good it goes right into your net. But it's something to keep in mind, because it is high reward, but it usually doesn't pan out. Alright, so let's see right here. He goes for the pass. So we see, like, two guys going for the same ball. Obviously not great. Should have probably just left it for Snapper, but he's here. He grabs the boost, and right there is when he needs to leave. I don't mind the first play, like you don't know where exactly your teammate is, but the second play I do mind. When the ball's in that like 6-yard box, everyone wants to go for the goal, but you need someone back, and he had the best opportunity to just go back, and he didn't here. Luckily, it doesn't hurt him too much here, but those plays are the ones that will cost you later on, and it could be really rough. Now, this play is rough here. Blackbeard should not be hitting this ball no matter what. The only time Blackbeard should be hitting this ball is if he knows that his defender is not coming up for the attack, or if he knows he's like sitting in net, then you might want to pass it back off the wall, but you have to hit it pretty far back to make sure that the blue team doesn't get it. This hit right here, though, it's not that far back, and then 2 is still in range to make another play, and because the goalie came out, it's one of those things where you should try and communicate that play. Say, all right, I got this, so Blackbeard doesn't go for the hit. They might not be in comms necessarily. That's one reason why you would want to be in comms for sure. Just call them those few I got it's actually really, really helps in certain situations. Let's go back here. So the ball goes into their end. A really poor clear by them. But right here, you never really want to jump on these shots. He actually has a lot of time here, and Blackbeard is also in the way of the goalie. What I would have done here is probably done a light tap, like sit on the ground, do a light tap, see what Blackbeard is actually doing to this goalie, because it could be just a wide open shot, like a free shot. Your other option is you just go for the high shot here. You wait for the bounce and go for the high shot where you don't really jump until the very last second, just to try and keep it just under the crossbar. Now that shot's a little difficult. You'll probably hit it high most of the time, but it's better than throwing it on the ground. That shot wasn't very free. They did have a goalie, and you generally don't want to throw shots low when there is a goalie ready. Of course, if Blackbeard would have got the bump, then it's a free net, and maybe that's what he was hoping for there. So, like, I'll give him that he might have been trying for that, but he could have had a much higher quality shot there for sure. So decent clear here by the red team. Let's see if Blackbeard can follow it up. He can't, but that's fine. Now it's just the clean rotations. Nice play there, getting this a second touch. So he throws off this wall, which honestly was a little bit too hard. The guy on the other team, his name is way too long. We'll just say Phoenix. Should have probably been able to make a play here, but it did bounce a little weird. And good follow-up by Redbeard, trying to get it out. And as long as he beats 2 there, he doesn't beat the goalie, just fine. And the goalie's going to throw it back in, but there's going to be a lot less pressure on his goalie now because the other 2 were circling back as well because they just got beat. So, it was a pretty good play all in all. His goalie, again, so far we've seen a lot of kind of poor clears throughout this entire game. And that's kind of what early Platinum is. It's a lot of weak touches. And it's going to be like that way for most of this game, where you have a clear opportunity and neither team is really making the most of it. And probably, like, the first goal is just going to be a mistake. Like here, Blackbeard probably should have been able to finish this one off. Let's go back here. He's got a wide open net. And just kind of misses there. He's trying to get it around the goalie, or like around that defender, for sure. But he had a lot more space than I think he realized. Now, these are the tough plays. Right when it's about to hit that wall, you just never know how it's going to bounce off. Because if it hits that curve, it could go straight up. It could come out just completely flat because it goes up just a little bit too high. Here's kind of a mixture, mostly flat. This is an ideal shot, but he just overturns this right here and just throws it to the side. Now, Cookie on the other team actually does a good idea here. Like, he misreads this as well. He should have been attacking right here and gotten this play. So let's watch his point of view. He's got a really far back camera. So he's just trying to charge back. He's going towards the back post. And the reason why, like, you go for the back post is now you have a better angle on kind of seeing what's happening here. And honestly, this should be a pretty easy clear for him. And just complete misreads. I do like the pre-jump to just at least block part of the net. He guards some of it on Blackbeard, and maybe that threw him off a bit, but it wasn't the greatest shot in the world. Now, ball goes up the wall, and, like, that's a Platinum play. That's a Gibbs play right there, where I just will not hit this ball off the wall. That ball came way further off than I think Redbeard thought. And honestly, this play I am perfectly okay with. He was the number 2 in rotation. You're allowed to take those chances because you have your third. Like, if you do whiff, he's going to follow up probably with a pretty successful hit. We'll see in a second, but I don't mind those plays because he wanted to keep that pressure on and try and get a shot on net. So it didn't happen there. There was a little bit of a miscommunication. So Snapper here, he flips and gets bumped, so he's kind of out of this play. Redbeard should have tried to make something of this. He could have stopped, threw it off the top of his hood, or at least thrown it back off the back wall to confuse the goalie. Because there was no way that Snapper had a shot there because of the way his momentum kind of threw him into the corner. So there's one of those plays where the Redbeard's not going to have a great shot. Like, there's no way he's scoring this play, but he can confuse the goalie by stopping and just trying to make some type of baby touch to maybe set up Snapper when he's circling back in. But he didn't go for it. Instead, he wanted to rotate back. And I always say, like, if you are forward, first look for opportunities where you can make a play happen with a slight touch that confuses a goalie, and your teammates might be able to clean it up. And that was one of those situations where Redbeard probably could have stayed for a bit and made a play. Here we see everyone flying. So who was the one who started this play? Let's see it. Hopefully Redbeard shows me. All right, 2. That's what I thought it was. Okay. Let's look at 2's point of view here. So he throws in the corner. I like this play. He's just throwing it in the corner and getting rid of it. Plus, it's going up the wall, which is easier to clear high and far. And he's going to follow this up. So first mistake here. He goes for the boost, which maybe he actually needed the boost. Now, the replay's always bugged, so I can't tell if he actually gets the boost or not. But let's just say he did. Now he's on a weird angle, and he's close to the ceiling. So the problem is here, you don't want to hit it high now because it might hit the ceiling. He actually does a decent job. He throws it around the curve and throws it out. But the problem is he's trying to follow that. He's going for like an aerial shot. And he just lands on the ball and it just lands flat. That doesn't really help his team all that much. That touch was actually kind of nice just to try and confuse the other team. Didn't really work. I would have rather to do the double jump pop because you always want elevation. When the ball's in front of your net and it's about to be centered, you always want to at least center it high. But he didn't do it there. Now Redbeard here, He gets that pass from 2, and he does pop it up. But these are the plays when they're not easy, but you might want to try and fly and follow it up, but I guess not, because they did get the goalie out. It looked like the goalie was too far in the net, so I would have been like, all right, maybe I follow this up for a crossbar shot, which I think Redbeard, he stayed grounded, was probably the smarter play, just looking for a juicy rebound. Of course, his first play could have been a shot, but instead he went for like the little chip, just a little bit too high. And when like there's chaos, sometimes it is good to shoot it low, like when there's chaos, as long as you shoot it really fast. You might be able to beat out anyone's reaction of a play, but doesn't work out there. Just following this up, I like this. Just driving into the corner, try and get some play off the wall. And it actually kind of worked. There was no goalie there. He just tried to throw it off the wall as quickly as possible. And it got in front. Just no one there to capitalize for the shot with the awkward touches by both teams. A little bit of a misplay here. I do like trying to attack this corner. Now, it's very hard to read the ball off the corner, and we don't know exactly if he, all right, so he knows he's the third man here, so he's going back. We have Snapper not anywhere near. Now his other teammate is to the right of the screen, which I'm pointing the wrong way. It would be that way. But you don't know how far back he is. He's probably not that far back because he was just in net. So I do like this play of trying to stop this ball, because once it hits the corner, it's a lot harder to read. So you want to attack them on the corner right before it hits or right after. He just actually jumps a little too early. One thing that you can do is just let that ball hit that wall and just park your car there, so then it'll tap off to an angle. But instead, he jumps a little early. Luckily, his teammate does get back in time. And it didn't hurt him. But we got a low-scoring game here. Not much is happening. Like, it is a lot of just throwing it deep into a corner and then, like, the other team clearing it out, too. I do want to see where someone fouls it up off the corner and throws it back to the center. But we haven't seen much of that yet. It's a lot of trying to force the walls to be your passer, which is fine. Like, a lot of teams do this. And it's like the best teams in the world are the ones that don't have to use the wall, so I don't expect that around Platinum. But see what happens here. Blackbeard, okay, that was a little hairy here, I'm not gonna lie. Blackbeard tried for the back pass-ish, but Redbeard just comes and takes the shot, which is, hey, like, it worked out. Just around 2, it was a good angle. And it looks like this should be Redbeard's ball, because Blackbeard is driving forward. You would think Blackbeard is just gonna try and drive and bother the 2 in net, but instead he goes for the back pass. And that could have worked if they knew that was coming, but it worked out anyway. Redbeard gets a goal while I drop my controller. Got it. No worries. Still plugged in. It was a good shot right in the inside corner. It's hard to guard the inside corner when you're driving back, because you always expect it to be on your far side, so you start cheating that way. It worked out. Ooh, poor touch by Blackbeard. This could cost him. Looks like we got a little lucky here. Okay, let's go to Blackbeard real quick. One play that you can do when someone's in net, or when someone's trying to defend net. Here, he's not really in net, but it's kind of the same point. You can kind of hit it right at them, and it's all right. It's not as close as I thought, but like, say they have no momentum, they can't really do anything with the ball. And see how Blackbeard, 0 momentum there. He couldn't really do anything. The ball just lands flat, and a very juicy shot for the blue team. Luckily, it worked out. That didn't go in. But when you do see a goal and you're like, I'm probably not going to beat him either way, one thing that you can do is actually just try and drill them with the ball. And if they don't react in time, they will have 0 momentum, and they'll just kind of hit it flat, and nothing will come of it. Let's go back here to this play. So we got Blackbeard trying to come back. He's going backwards again. It's like I think the second time at least that I've seen him going backwards. You generally don't want to be doing that too much. Let's actually look at both players on his team here. See what went wrong. So obviously he wasn't really part of this play. Alright. Let's go to Snapper first. Alright. So Snapper's here. Just circling around, seeing what's up. Blackbeard gets the touch. Now this ball is way too far away. Like, there's no point of boosting toward this. This is another one of those. The ball might go in, like, if I can get a touch. So let's charge it. But once he flipped and saw that the other guy was there, he should have just circled back. I can understand a little bit that he's like the first man, so you want that dunk, but not when you have 15 seconds on the clock and you're up a goal. You don't try for these plays. Like, this is just bad clock management by by both these guys, actually, because they both kind of inch forward when, like, there's no point of scoring again. Just play right here for Blackbeard. He hits it off the wall. No momentum. He sees the other guy coming, though. He should have been circling back already. Like, it's fine to grab the mid boost, but he should have rotated back. Right now, he's just watching. And there's really no point, because, like, the worst case or best case scenario is he gets a poor touch and you score, but you're already up a goal, and there's only 15 seconds left. All you have to do is save this one drive, and they have maybe one more. So here now, he's going backwards, and he gets bumped out. And then it makes it a tough play for Redbeard. Like, this is honestly a tough play. There's 3 cars all in the way of the ball. You're not sure how this ball is going to come out. And it comes out a little weird. He tries to throw it off the wall, but it's just a juicy rebound for the other team. And honestly, he's the last one back. Maybe he sits back further. But honestly, it was an awkward play, and he tried to make the best of it, and it just didn't work. The only problem I have with this is I would have drove towards the goal line here. Not try to dive out. He tries to dive out, but he actually mistimes this completely and is not blocking any angles at all. So I probably would have sat on the goal line here and see what type of shot it was going to be, because you knew it was going to be a shot. But again, hindsight is 20/20, so it happens. So they get scored on. Bad clock management by Orange team. Let's see if they can make up for it here. Ooh, that's not a good touch on that aerial. Here is one of those cases where if you do the double jump aerial, you'll get up a lot quicker. And that could really help you there, because that would have been an easier touch. And those are not easy to learn. The double jump aerials, I don't do them all the time still, because it was right when I stopped playing that they got really big. And so my habits are just to not do them. But, yeah. Nice shot by Snapper. Just a little bit too low there. So, you just kind of got to be careful. When you start learning double touch areas, I would play a lot of unranked first and just try and do it for every aerial to get used to it. It is tough, and it does take away your ability to change direction in air with a side flip. So it's not usable all the time, but on plays where the ball is pretty high and you have to make up a lot of ground quickly, that's where you want to do it. Alright, so 2 guys going for the same ball again. Just got to be careful with this. I could see why Snapper went. He was technically behind Redbeard, but he had a better view of it, so I would prefer him to go. So that was a poor play, but that's okay. They made up for it right there, the wall play. Now 2 of blue just went, so this should be a fast break opportunity. Didn't really work out to be that fast breaky, but they still got it out. Blackbeard, that's a pretty good pass. See if he can fly to it. Oh, he didn't go for the height at all there. As soon as this ball's up there, it's overtime. Like, you have to jump sooner than that and try and fly to it. He has some boost. I'm not sure how much, but again, like a double pop aerial there, he probably gets a wide open shot. Blackbeard with the shot. There it is. Okay, that's the end of the game. Let's go to Snapper real quick. So Snapper is the 3rd man in rotation. And we'll go back here. Like, this is a pretty good pass by Blackbeard because it forces the blue team to make a play where they can't really see that well. So it is a nice low ball, and then Blackbeard can just throw it off the back wall and make some plays out of it. He forces a bad rebound. I'm sorry, I think I said Blackbeard, but Snapper. And then Blackbeard gets the finish there. And that's all because that first pass earlier, it forced them to make a juicy rebound, and they kept possession because of it, and then they eventually get the goal. And sometimes that's all you really need, is just to force those passes where the ball's in the air, like right above the goalies, and then they can't really see. Like, if they've ball came on, they can't tell when a shooter is coming, so they might panic and just throw it right out to your 3rd man in rotation, where he can then set up a new play. And that's what happened there, and that's where they got the win. And I talked a lot there, I felt like I was a little bit of a rap god. But thank you, Redbeard, for the replay. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Later.